You and I share a problem. We're investing in the stock market and we're competing with the hedge funds. That's Wall Street. And they have the talent, they have the skills to beat us at the game every day. And so we get frustrated and basically eventually we give up. But it got me to thinking about a movie that I saw. It's a 2011 movie called Moneyball. It starred Brad Pitt and Josh Hill, and it's a story about the Oakland A's that are trying to compete with the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox and the teams that continually win, but they didn't have the budget to compete with them. So Brad, the manager of the team, goes and hires Josh, and he's a Harvard graduate, and he's a statistician, and he says, I can go find you players that are not being recruited by the big teams, and by recognizing their strengths and putting them in positions to outperform. And that's what the movie was all about, and how the Oakland A's raised to new heights. And all it was about was using data, using the data that Josh compiled about past performances, and then by putting these people together, predicting future great things. And that's what the stock market's all about as we move into artificial intelligence. We are being put in a position that Josh found himself in, that we can access that data and we can now compete with the hedge funds. And I've shown you how it's done through my portfolio, the Bus 13, and how it's up some 78% year to date, when the S&P 500's up about 15% and the Dow's up about 3%. It's all by analyzing data. And in this video today, I want to take it and show you how I've created an algorithm, if you will, to analyze stocks by accessing the data that's out there and just putting it together in such a form that it gives me a way to predict what the price will be in the future. I'm going to show you a formula that I've gathered together that actually gives me a prediction on what the annualized rate of return will be on any stock you want per annum. That is to say, over the next 5 years, this stock will return you X percentage of return based on past data. It's a formula that I have found, and I want to share it with you.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
I hope you're familiar with websites like Seeking Alpha and Yahoo Finance, where you can go and you can access actually any company's financial statements, current or past. You can access their annual reports, current and past, and then you can go deep into those websites and you can see their balance sheets, their income statements, their analyst predictions of what's going to happen to the stocks in the future. They go into great detail. Well, that's all data. And that data is somewhere on a server. And the key to what I'm trying to do is to find that data and then bring it to a spreadsheet and analyze it to give me an ability to predict what the price is going to be in the future. And that's what I've been working on for the last several months. And I'm going to eventually put it hopefully by the middle of this month on a website where you can see it as well. But what I want to do right now is take you to my computer and show you some of these things. And I'm going to show you a formula that I found from Yahoo Finance that I can go in and put a ticker symbol on, and I can access their data from analysts to give me the expected annual rate of return over the next 5 years. Yeah, I can put any ticker symbol I want to it, and then I can judge from that by putting it adjacent other data that I've accessed to give me the ability to compete with Wall Street. In other words, I'm creating another Moneyball. But we're calling it Bus 13, and the next one will be Bus 12. This is the spreadsheet that I was referring to. And what I'm trying to do here is to, first of all, identify an industry that is showing exponential growth. And right now, I think that is the rebuilding of the internet and the semiconductors. And I'm seeking alpha. Alpha is a measurement of outperformance of the industries. And I'm looking for a 20% outperformance of the industries over the next 5 years. Then I'm also looking for a 20% increase in income, revenue, stock price, and earnings per share, so that I can predict the price of a stock. And so I've created this spreadsheet to reach out and gather the data that is available that I can find. And a lot of it I pull from Seeking Alpha, and a lot rest of it I pull basically from Yahoo Finance. Now, what you're seeing here is a tracking of revenue, income, earnings per share, free cash flow, and price. Okay? All the numbers in black are automatic. And what I mean by that is I'm looking at right now at a stock you probably don't know, but you will when before this video is over. It's called Vertiv Holdings, ticker VRT. What they do is they build data centers, and they build prefab data centers, and their largest customers are Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple, and Meta, and their growing market is in India and Africa. Yes, as you wouldn't think of this, but as they gain access to the internet, you have to have data centers there to hold the data that's being generated. So these people make prefab. So in other words, they make modules that, like Legos, just plug together. So they're much cheaper, they're much more efficient, and they're much easier to maintain. So their stock is growing substantially, as I will show you. Now, what I've done is I've created this spreadsheet. So thus far, all the numbers that you see in black or white are automatic. If I change that ticker symbol and this Excel spreadsheet reading all the numbers and put a different ticker symbol, such as Apple there, all the numbers in black will change. The numbers in blue, though, I have to go, usually to Seeking Alpha, and fill in. But nonetheless, then, what it does is it gives me a history from 2019 through 2023 today on this stock, okay? Some of the numbers are actually such as price, current price. What you might see change as we're talking, as the market is open, and VRT's price might change, and you might see that number change. So then what I do is I come over here and I create a score, and that is to say, what score do I give? And what that score is the average increase in revenue over the since 2023 through 2029. Not a big score, 8.35. This is the increase in income, 1% above my minimum. Then I look at increase in earnings per share, and that averages 146. And you can see they've had some negative numbers, but then they had some huge increases. And this year they've had a 500% increase from 20 cents to $1.26. Then what I do, as I said, is I go to Seeking Alpha and I find the projections that their staff, their executives are projecting, and analysts are projecting what is the earnings per share going to be in 2024, 25, 26. And then I have another code that I bring up from a formula that I have found from Yahoo Finance for 2027. Okay? So that's how that comes through. And as I say, their score on that's 146. Now, this is free cash flow. As you can see, it hasn't been real good until it's improved substantially from a high negative number to a lower negative number. So it gets a 35 on that as a trend. Then this is the increase in stock price over that same period of time, and it scores a 29. Now, this is the one I was talking to you about. I have found a formula that I can go and put whatever ticker symbol I want in it, and it will give me from Yahoo their anticipated return over the next 5 years per annum. And what they are saying is Vertiv Holdings, they believe, is going to increase the stock price and at an annual rate of 54% over the next 5 years. That's right. That's what they're saying. I don't know if it's true or if it's not. So then I take all of those scores and average them, and this comes out with a 49, which is more than double my 20% or 30% increase. So that then says, this is a stock I want to own. That's how I do this. This is Moneyball all over. I'm going and gathering the data that has been accumulated over the last 40 years and putting it in a format that I can analyze and make some informed decisions about. Okay? Does that make sense to you? That's what I'm doing. Okay? Now, I want to give you a piece of information that is, it has value that I can't even imagine. And that is that number right there. Okay? There it is. There's the code. Equals EPF dot Yahoo dot growth dot estimate dot annual. Now, right there, you would put the ticker symbol. But since I'm going to change this to analyze other stocks in the future, I've put B, the column, and 11, the line, to pick up that ticker symbol, VRT. As I say, I could write VRT in there, and then it's comma and 5. And what the 5 is saying, give me Yahoo's growth estimate annualized over the next 5 years. That's that formula. I want you to write it down. Again, look at it, write it down, because this is priceless. Now, what I've done is then I have taken all the stocks that are in Bus 13 plus Tesla. I don't have Tesla in Bus 13. And I have said, give me the annualized 5-year growth rate on each of these stocks. And as you can see, there it is, that formula. And here, rather than put AMZN in there, I put B24. Then what I did was I copied that and I pasted it down here so it picked up every one of these ticker symbols. And it has given me, and believe it or not, this is Yahoo's information, not mine. They are saying that Amazon will grow over the next 5 years at an average annualized rate of 72%. Apple will grow at 7. NVIDIA will grow at 21. Okay? Here, what is this? This is PSTG. Probably you've never heard of that. It's in the Bus 13 portfolio. It's going to grow at an average rate of 30%. And here is the stock we're analyzing up there, saying it's going to grow at 54% each year. So again, write that formula down. Now, as I said, you can put anything you can replace that with a ticker symbol, and it'll give you the same thing. Then there's a stock I want to share with you that I've gotten some input that says they're going to be a big winner in the AI business in the future. And so I put it in, and here it is. There it is, and as you can see, it's IBM. And Yahoo Finance believes that IBM over the next 5 years will grow at an annualized rate of 3%. Okay? Take it for what it's worth, and you make a decision. But I think what I'm showing you is how you and I can compete with Wall Street, because we can search and gain access to the data. Now, you can duplicate this, you can do it, or you can get on the bus and let me do it for you. Because what I'm going to do, I recognize that Bus 13 is all about the rebuilding of the infrastructure, basically about data centers. And that means semiconductors, computers, lights and switches, and testing equipment and everything, and prefab data centers that have to be built to accommodate the load that's going to be generated by artificial intelligence and machine learning. So that's what I'm doing. That's how I'm taking the lesson I learned in Moneyball and applying it to Best of Us investors.